we'll pick that up later on. But now it is time to do the news. And we begin with a story from Australia, in fact. Australian authorities are really going to get tough on boozed-up fans at the Bathurst motor race. Well, I say motor race, it's actually a fight every year between rival gangs of Ford supporters and GM supporters. OK, now the way they've cracked this is they say each fan is going to be limited to just 24 cans of lager each per day. Just 24 a day, no more than that.
That's absolutely right, and Australians don't think you can get round this by switching to wine, because that's limited as well, to 4 litres a day.
Do you know what they are actually doing to get round it? They're getting
Australians?
Yeah, Australians are going there 2 weeks before the race and burying beer.
We have an Australian guest on later. I'm going to talk to him about this, because I'm fascinated.
Yes.
Now, it is time to put a start in our reasonably priced car. My guest tonight, it seems, always wanted to be a racing driver, but then he accidentally ended up being in films like Star Trek, Finding Nemo, Black Hawk Down, Troy, and so on and so forth. So, here to find out what on earth went wrong, from somewhere called Australia, ladies and gentlemen, Eric Bana! Good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, very well.
Have a seat.
Proper superstar is here. What's in there?
There. It's water, it's OK. It won't have anything dangerous in it.
Yeah.
Now, this Bathurst motor race we were talking about earlier, have you heard about this beer thing? Where they're now limiting the amount of beer each fan can take to 24 cans a day.
It's a serious restriction. I mean, that's practically teetotaling, isn't it?
Because this rivalry between Ford and GM, it's ingrained from birth, isn't it, in all Australia?
It is, you know, it's pretty deep-seated. Well, I guess, you know, they're the two main manufacturers when, if you're my age, when you were growing up. It was, you know, the General Motors product, which was Holden, Commodores and Tiranas, and for me it was Falcons.
This is it. I said to the two guys, the two Aussies who are here in the audience somewhere now, I said, oh, Eric Bana's coming on. They went, Ford bloke. And that was it. You're a Ford bloke, therefore you're no good, because you're a Ford bloke and they're Holden blokes.
Completely discounted me, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's nice. The thing. Oh, yeah. No, because it seems to me that Bathurst combines everything really that you need in Australia, outside cooking, obviously, drinking and sport. Because this sport thing, it's weird, why? Because you're no good at it, so...
Oh, really?
Well, not
really.
Well, I'm just...
Cite a couple of examples.
Well, the Ashes. I don't know what the Ashes...
The most recent one.
The rugby the other day.
Didn't we beat you last week?
Yeah, well, we weren't playing. It was Johnny Wilkinson and some lawyers. Do you know the best thing, honestly, about having an Aussie here really is, and I don't know whether it's the same with Australia, because there are very few countrymen or countrywomen that we can tease and you can get joshing. Australia and England, it seems to me, are the last two countries on earth where you can go there and go, Hardy wallet under the soap, you won't find it there. So, I mean, if you go to the Americans and say, you lost in Vietnam, I mean, they really... They just don't find that funny.
I mean, to be quite honest, we're happy. We ended up in the best country, so it's, you know, it's not a bad second prize as far as you're concerned.
It's quite dangerous, though, Australia.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I mean, how old are you?
41.
You must be the oldest Australian who hasn't been eaten by a shark or bitten by a spider that killed him.
There's a few around, but, you know, that's what happens when you have great beaches.
We've got great beaches.
Oh, you do, yeah, I know. Awesome surf, too.
At least we have nice names. Give
me an example.
Well, no, because the thing I love about Australia, I really genuinely love, is the literal name. We've got this big sandy desert in the middle. What should we call it? The Great Sandy Desert. We've got this reef off the coast. It's like a barrier, the Great Barrier Reef.
This is, of course, as opposed to the White Cliffs of Dover.
Yeah.
Green Park.
Yeah, that's true. Green Park isn't very good, yeah.
4 weddings and a funeral.
That wasn't a very good... What about Mad Max? It's about a bloke who's mad, and he's called Max.
Perfect title.
Now, I want to get onto the car thing, because it's, let's be honest, this proper love that you have, because you are now a bona fide Australian racing driver.
Oh, no, I just have a bit of fun in the Australian GT series, which is like your version would be like FIA GT3 racing, so I'm in a Porsche Cup car, 911.
So you're pretty good. I mean, it's not like you're just some actor who's...
I don't know if I'm pretty good. I mean, I enjoy it, and I'd never stop doing it. I'm
So do you define your life, say, well, I'm not going to do that film because I really want to do that race?
Is this on in America?
No, this is America's the only country in the world this isn't shown.
Of course I've done that. Are you kidding me?
Good man. Everywhere else in the world, I hear that, but not America.
I'll never find out.
Now, if I could just say, you've been in some massive films, but the one that seems to me to be closest to your heart is the one that you've just brought out now, which is Love the Beast.
Love the Beast.
So tell me about that, because it's a very small film compared to, let's say, Troy.
Well, it is. It's a documentary that I directed, and I one day was looking at my Beast, which is my Ford Falcon coupe. And I'd had this car since I was 15. And I thought, this actually isn't a car. This is like some kind of a personal, possession that gets carted around through all kinds of different circumstances. And I started thinking more and more about that and how, cars, objects, in particular cars, I feel, can transcend themselves to become something else. I feel very deeply about it, so...
I couldn't agree more.
Right.
I mean, I really do believe that cars take on a personality. Not all cars, but some do. So this film is about your relationship with this car.
Yeah, and then I was competing in Targa Tasmania that year, so I thought, well, we'll just make the rally a bit of an action backdrop to this story about a guy having a car for his
Having a
whole life.
relationship with a car.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've got a clip here, which I'd like to show everyone. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go! And then a 5 left. It's slippery, apparently.
I feel like I'm breaking in a horse. I feel like every day both horses are learning, me and the car.
Okay, 10 left, flying, finish, stay on. 6 left, caution, crest, long 2 right, 100. Car up here.
Jeez. That hurt.
I think what hurt the most was just knowing that it was going to happen, before it happened. It was
Well,
a
I
bit-
could have told you that was going to happen, because if you've got a muscle car, you go around a corner, you're going to hit a tree. Now, you end wondering whether to rebuild that car again.
True. One of the things that I was facing, whilst I was shooting the documentary, I never planned on crashing the bloody car, obviously, was, I'd killed it, basically. And then for a couple of months, we thought that it was dead and that we couldn't, in fact, repair it. And I decided that if it required a reshell, that I would not rebuild the car.
But does it?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. So you're going to
doesn't.
rebuild it again?
So we're going to rebuild it
You
again.
do realise that everything you earned from Star Trek is going to be lost the next time you try to go around the corner in it, when you've rebuilt it.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you didn't come thousands of miles to just sit and talk about this. You came to have a go out there in the reasonably priced car. So how was it?
It was slippery, but it was a lot of fun. It's been a while since I've driven such a reasonably priced car.
Who would like to see Eric's lap? All right, mate, let's have a look. That is slippery.
I'll never play Test cricket, but I'll drive the Top Gear track.
First corner now. That's. Ooh, you see, there's somebody who knows how to drive. Look at that. Feel the grip from the reasonably priced Lassetti now.
But
Were you really putting your heart and soul into this?
I'm not here
Yes,
to
you
pretend
were.
that I don't care about what my lap time is. Get out of the way, birds.
Yeah, look, non-dangerous birds. Not like those ones that burst on your windscreen, showering you in worms, which is what happens in Australia. Ooh, that's a bit of understeer there.
Lots of understeer there.
Tongue, put it away.
Sluts.
Gearbox, sorry about that. Hasn't mended. Follow through. I needed to ask, were you flat through there?
Flat.
Yeah. And flat through the tyres, I'm guessing. Yep, that looks pretty flat to me. Now, second to last corner, this is the tricky one.
I don't think I ever got this one right.
No, well, let's have a look. Let's have a look. You've got to cut it a bit. Yes, perfect. Now, just gambon. Oh, that's quite legal through there. Most people cheat. And there we are, across the line. Aha! Now, bearing in mind that that was a wet lap.
Yeah, it was very slippery. I was waiting for it to dry out, but I think it was
All
a
right,
little-
it's enough excuses.
Yeah.
It's a wet lap. You see, you being a racing driver there. So I'm just looking for the fastest ever wet lap, which I think, from what I can see, is Jamie Oliver on a 1:47.7.
I'm in two minds. I'd like to beat him, but my wife loves him.
Eric Bana, you did it in 1:47.5. There you go, mate. You did it. Oh, I'm going to put a wedge on there. Hang on. That is the fastest wet lap we've ever had. The fastest. You are 0.2 of a second faster than a chef. But you are the fastest Australian.
Is there like a wet track ashes that I can take back to Australia?
Tell you what we'll do, we'll burn the car and put it in like a little thing, and you can take it back, and Australia can have some ashes for the next few years.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Bana!